Yes, that I am, because I want to get all the emblems. That is exactly what I'm trying to do here, get every single emblem. And this will be the first and only Sonic game I do this on. Every other Sonic game, I am not gonna care to get all the optional things done. This is the only Sonic game that's gonna happen. Not because this is the only Sonic game I like, it's because it's taken so much of me to be able to just replay the same stage over and over until I complete it. It feels good once I do, but, you know, I want to be able to move on to other Sonic games, because there's plenty more I want to play on the channel than just Sonic Adventure 2.
I'm getting closer.
But you guys should be glad I'm not going for A ranks, because then I would be sitting here way longer if I would try to A rank every single stage as well. Because you should be lucky that all I'm caring about is getting the mission done and then no longer touching it. Yeah, it is definitely one of the best Sonic games out there that I agree with. Like, that is why I'm willing to put up with all these missions, because Sonic Adventure 2 is normally because it is a good game, that's why I'm willing to sit through it, you know. But it would be a game like, I don't know, see, I have to think of a Sonic game that I truly don't like. Let's see. I guess it would be like a game like Sonic Forces. It's not a game I truly dislike, because I'm actually one of the people that enjoyed Forces, but compared to most other Sonic games, Forces is not high up on the list of games that I like. So if it would be like Forces, then I wouldn't be able to put up with, you know, getting everything optional done on that one, like getting all the cosmetic stuff with the avatar. I think that is one of the optional things you can do in Forces, to get all of that. I think there's also collect all the red rings in Sonic Forces, but I don't think that's as bad as trying to get all the cosmetics. What? Yeah, I saw what my mistake there was there. I was going a little bit too fast, and I was getting a bit too tricky to control him. And by the way, those seeing this, like, chat and all, like, just because I'm concentrating on like this stage, for example, it doesn't mean that, oh, let's not disturb him with messages, because I am still completely capable of responding to chat even while focusing here. Because it might slightly distract me, but it can also help me to just relax, just, you know, talk through instead of just being in complete silence and silently judging myself and my performance. Yes, I am like my own worst critic at times. Ah, you just finished Mega Man Battle Network 5. That's good. Ah, I understand you want to complete the... Did you want to complete them before the new collection comes out? I understand. Now, I've seen a bunch of posts about it online, because people kept comparing the Mega Man collection to the remakes of Fire Red, Leaf Green.
Select a stage.
I mean, that's what I've seen the most when it comes to the the Mega Man collection that's been used as a, hey, this game gives you 5 or 8 games, something like that, for like a reasonable price, whilst Leaf Green all they give you is like one version of the game with barely anything changed for like the same price as the Mega Man collection, if I'm not mistaken. I have to get on that at some point to actually try out a Mega Man game. I just don't know where to start with Mega Man. I think that's the problem that I have. I don't know if I have to start with the original Mega Man games, or I can just jump into any of the modern games without a problem. Because I don't know how connected the story is on all the Mega Man games. But it has been a game that's been on my list to like try to play, you know?
I'm getting closer.
I have to concentrate a little bit on that corner because I've been stuck on that one for a little bit now for some reason. I haven't been stuck in that corner before, just recently I just suddenly got stuck on that one. Yeah. There, got the corner correct there. Ooh. Oh, well that's good, I can just jump between Mega Man games, that's good to know. Yeah, the game didn't give me the input there in the right time. I did see that they recently announced as if Capcom is gonna have like an event thing or release more collections to their various Capcom games. And I did see that they unfortunately left out like the Dino Crisis franchise yet again, which saddens me because, as I've said, I've never played Dino Crisis, but I have seen plenty of playthroughs of it, and I can definitely say for certain that Dino Crisis is definitely one of the games that would heavily benefit from a remake of some sort. Because, you know, it's a game that's about dinosaurs. Sure, you shoot the dinosaurs, but still, it's about dinosaurs. Who wouldn't like a game about dinosaurs, you know? In these time and ages. Or I need a sip of my water so I can talk. Yeah. Now I should be able to say the things I want to say. Because I did feel that my mouth was getting a little bit dry there. Ooh. Eek. Whew. No. Not this again with the game losing the drifting at the wrong time. Alright, so it's Mega Man 1 through 10 is one collection. Then it's Mega Man... Whoops, actually I have to read this, hold up.
Select a stage.
Mega Man X1 through 8 is another. Then there's Mega Man 0 that is not connected. And then the Battle Network is different as well. Okay. Yeah, exactly. They should do that for most of the other Capcom games, like they did with Ace Attorney, like bring them to modern consoles so that new kids and teens alike can get to experience them in a better quality than, you know, playing the original versions of them. Because I know the first two Dino Crisis games were PS1 exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that, you know, aren't really... that there are people that are picky about graphics and are not they don't like the look of a PS1 game because it looks so blocky. So for all of those people to see a modern version of a game like Dino Crisis would heavily benefit it. I think the only game I played in the Dino Crisis franchise is let's see, it has two different names, this game. Like, where I'm from, it's just simply called Dino Stalker. But I know in like America or something like that, it was called Gun Survivor 3 Dino Crisis or something like that. Yeah, that too. Like, some people don't want to emulate games, so you have to get a fresh PS1 if they want to experience the Dino Crisis games. Which, speaking of, like sometime in the near future, I will be able to play some Ace Attorney for the channel, like in the near future. Because I did buy, what's it called? The Apollo Justice trilogy on like Black Friday last year. So I could play, like, not could, I will play them at some point in the channel, the Apollo Justice games. And no worries, I have seen the Ace Attorney anime, and I've seen playthroughs of the first three Ace Attorney games, so I wouldn't be completely blind to the events that happened in the previous game, so there's no worry about that with me playing Apollo Justice and not playing Ace Attorney, because I've seen all the story that there is to know from the first three games.
Select a stage.
I was really trying to lock in there. That's why I was so quiet.
Over there. Let's go.
Because I was really focusing there. I was like, like, please let me be able to finish it this time. I do wish this bridge had less curves, you know? It would have made this stage a lot simpler if it didn't have so many freaking curves. Especially since the button input to drift isn't super easy. Like, I kind of wish it was any other button than pressing A and moving the joystick at the same time. I really wish the drift specifically was like press the X button, you know? Because the X button doesn't do anything outside of, you know, changing the commands for like, for changing the
I'm
commands.
getting closer.
So I really wish they put the drift on the X button, because that would make it so much easier to drift if it was just a separate button than being a obscure button combination that doesn't always trigger. Because although I'm getting a very good handle on the drifting, it still would be a lot easier if it was a different button altogether. Especially for this version, Adventure 2 Battle, which is the same version as the one they had in the GameCube. Because the GameCube has like a L2, R2 equivalent. And you could have easily used one of those buttons for drifting, because I'm pretty sure that's how most racing games for PlayStation have done it, that the R2 and the L2 buttons are used for drifting. For some it's even used as the gas button, but I'm pretty sure like 90% of them have R2, L2 drift. So it easily could have been something they did for Sonic Adventure 2, or Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. The only reason I'm mentioning Adventure 2 Battle is because I have no idea how a Dreamcast controller looked like, you know? So I don't know if that's something that could have been possible for the original version, because I've never owned a Dreamcast. Nor have I seen a Dreamcast. Like, I think I've seen the console of a Dreamcast in like some pictures that are like, you know, from like memes on Facebook or something similar, where they have identify the various consoles, or evolution of different consoles and stuff like that. But I don't think I've seen a Dreamcast controller, so I don't know how many buttons they had. I think the only thing I know was that the Dreamcast had like a screen of some sort, I think. Chat can correct me if I'm wrong with the Dreamcast controlling having a screen on it. But that's basically all I know about the Dreamcast. Because sadly I did not grow up with a Dreamcast. I was too young to be able to grow up with a Dreamcast. And also the issue with the fact they straight up didn't have that console over here where I live. They never really had a Dreamcast, so, you know. There's a lot of factors as to why I've never been able to actually play on a Dreamcast. Because the consoles I grew up with were PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and GameCube. Those were the three consoles I grew up with. I think I managed to play a little bit on the original Xbox, but definitely, like, I know I've still to this day own a PlayStation 1, a PlayStation 2, and a GameCube. And still all the games that I originally owned on them. Like, I still own the discs. Dragon Quest XI is going good. I think I finally managed to enter the second act of the game, if that's how to explain it. So I think that's the best way to explain how it's gone with Dragon Quest XI. I'm not gonna the second act of the game. Or if you play like Three Houses, try to think of it like that they have part 1 with the Academy, then they have the time skip in Three Houses, and that's counted as part 2. That's kind of how I reached with Dragon Quest XI. Like, I reached the part 2 of the story arc. That's the best way I can explain it without spoiling, you know? And like the best frame of reference that I know of. I think I have plenty to go with the game. Whoop. Ah, shoot. At least I assume I still have plenty to go with the game. It all depends on how long the second part actually is. Because I would imagine it wouldn't be as long as the first part, but we'll see. It has reached part 104 on YouTube as of this stream. So I don't know if it's gonna have as many episodes as Time Stranger, but I think it's gonna have still plenty to go in terms of episodes.
I'm getting closer.
I think last I checked, that was like 50. I think it was 55 hours into Dragon Quest 11. And yes, that is the first Dragon Quest game ever, 11 as well. Like, I've not played any other Dragon Quest game prior to Dragon Quest 11. Because my only other exposure to Dragon Quest was Smash Bros. Ultimate. That was actually how I got introduced to the Dragon Quest as a franchise, seeing it get included to Smash Brothers. It's the same way with the introduction to various Fire Emblem characters, also thanks to Smash Brothers.
I'm getting closer.
So in terms of that, with getting people introduced to various game franchises, that is something Smash Brothers does excellent. Like, it does a very good job there with helping people like, hey, did you know of this character? Hey, they exist, and if you're curious about the game, they come from this one. Because, honestly, I don't think I ever would have picked up a Fire Emblem game, or something similar to that, if it weren't for the fact that they were in Smash Brothers. Because it was thanks to them that I managed to see the characters and get intrigued enough to be like, I want to play the original game, you know? Whoa.
I'm getting closer.
Let's see. You played the first one in one sitting for fun and played 11. Only 8 hours in, though. But because of other stuff, you never really proceeded with it. Yeah, I hear you. With sometimes that life just comes that way, that you
Select a stage.
start a game and then other things come up that prevent you from completing or continuing with that certain playthrough. And then it gets to a point where it's been so long where you go, should I even continue with the original save file I had, or should I just restart the game, you know? And then it kind of becomes the problem like, like, do I want to play the game anymore if I was 8 hours in and I have to restart just so I can refresh myself on, like, the plot? Because I think I've reached that point in not most, but for some games, I don't like when that happens. When you just drift and somehow the car managed to reach the wall. I don't like that. That should not be allowed. The games you just have, if you drift, touching the walls don't count, you know? Yeah, this is definitely gonna be multiple videos on YouTube, this racing. Oh yeah, I understand that when you get back to 11 that you're gonna restart it. And then as a fun thing, you could Because I think there are some people that do that you could do is that you could
Select a stage.
play along with my playthrough, so to speak, because
President
I
must be
think
over there.
I should
Let's
probably
go.
be done with Dragon Quest XI by the time you play it again, assuming you're not gonna start it like tomorrow or something like that. 'Cause I think I've heard of people do that. Like, I know I have a close friend that have done that before, where they have decided to watch a playthrough on YouTube and then play along with it. I think the only game I've done that with, when I've played along together with watching someone else play it, has been Persona 3 Reload, because I think I was watching a streamer play Reload, but I also played it on my own to try to keep up or get ahead of the streamer, so that, you know, I could just watch it for what his thoughts were on that scene, but I would still have my own first impression of the scene before he got to it.
I'm getting closer.
And I have no problem saying like he on the streamer that I watched, because there exist so many he streamers out there that it's not possible for someone to know who I was possibly talking about. Especially for a franchise like Persona, they have so many people that made content on it. I knew I should have drifted there. I knew I should have drifted, but for some reason I hesitated on the drift. It kind of sucks when that happens, when you know what you need to do, but you get like a temporary mental block or something. Oh yeah. It's kind of what I expected, Octagon, that you had a lot of other games before then. Whoa. Yeah, I couldn't really get the controls to work again, because he was just drifting all over the place. I was trying to be like, please stop drifting. I don't want to drift this much. So that is why I died there, because I lost control of the car, so to speak. Yes, exactly. I was a bit too fast for the corners there.
I'm getting closer.
Alright, back to the second lap once again. Hopefully I can return to the... I think I got to the third lap once. I want to get back to that progress again. You have to do 3 laps, what you have to do. Or they count it as laps, but it's not really a lap because you don't do the same part over and over. You do like 3 different segments of the bridge. Because it would be a lot easier if it was just a lap of the same road over and over. But in fact, there's 3 separate roads you have to do. It means it's a lot to try to memorize. Because you have to memorize how the first part plays and its corners, and you have to memorize how the second lap plays with its corners, and then how the third lap plays. Which finally, third lap.
Almost, Sonic. Just a few more minutes.
Holy. That U-turn, man. That U-turn. That is some extremely serious Tokyo drifting you have to do there. Also, how does Tails know how to Tokyo drift? Does he canonically drive through this bridge to catch up with the president?
The president must be
Wait, who
over
taught him
there.
how to Tokyo
Let's
drift?
go.
Who taught him how to do that? Because I know they had racing games for the not the Sega Genesis, but for the Sega systems with the Sonic Drift Racing, I think it was called. But still, there was no Tokyo drifting in those games. It was just regular turning. Because it was an 8-bit racing game. So who taught Tails how to Tokyo drift? And if he taught it himself, why? Like, what movies was Tails watching where he's like, ooh, they can turn a car like that? I should learn how to do that myself. That will come in handy one of these days. Because Rouge, I can believe that she knows how to Tokyo drift, because, you know, she's canonically like a teenager and works for like the government, so I can believe that someone in the government taught her how to Tokyo drift. But Tails?
Getting closer.
I don't know, man. He's too much of a goody two-shoes for me to see being able to Tokyo drift like this. I had to do that to turn the careful way instead. I wanted to drift, but the game didn't allow me, so I took it the careful way. Okay. Whee! And now I have access to another boost, which will be handy. I always get a I always get a little worried when I get close to those sharp corners, you know.
Tails, did you find the president?
Almost, Sonic. Just a few more minutes.
I decided to slow down there because I felt like I was going a little bit too fast, you know, for my own liking. Okay, time for the extreme Tokyo drift. Huh. I don't know who built this bridge, and I probably said it in my main playthrough of this stage, but I'm still gonna repeat it anyway. Whoever built this godforsaken bridge needs to be fired. Because I don't see how anyone benefits from this bridge being designed this way. Yeah, it happened again where I was going too fast with the corners. Yeah, I could probably try to go a little bit slower in the third lap. And see if I can manage. Because I remember from when I did like the previous missions, like the when you not supposed to touch on any of the other cars. But I think I barely managed to make it with a timer.
I'm getting
And I don't
closer.
know how tight with time it becomes when you have to do this one when you don't touch the wall. What's what I say to that? But the fact I can make it to the third lap and make it past that U-turn means that I can complete this stage. I can do it. And it was not just a lucky fluke. Because if I would not have gotten to the third lap a second time, then it would just been a fluke the first time I did it.